Hi guys, in this video today you are going to learn more on corpora or corpus data. Alright, something about data-driven learning as well, and the terms that are connected with those terms, and as well as some tips on studying. All right, so how I study, how my way of studying, so you will have an idea kung paano ako natuto and kung paano ko na-improve yung aking English, as an English as a second language learner. All right, and as a teacher, by the way. Also, in here you are going to learn this video is not only for learners but as well as for the teachers, the English teachers, by the way. Hey guys, apologies, this video is actually quite long, but I dare you to just stay with me until the end because I believe every second counts in this video. Trust me on that. Ay, tuloy natin ang pagbabasa. Saan ako? As O'Keefe, McCarthy, and Carter note, the contribution of corpus linguistics to the description of the language we teach is difficult to dispute. Even if we accept this claim, however, there is, as O'Keefe, McCarthy, and Carter indeed acknowledge, a need to sound a cautionary note. Language description is only one aspect of language teaching, which is highly complex activity taking place in different contexts, for different purposes, and involving teachers and learners with different educational and cultural expectations, teaching and learning styles. Teaching is self-evidently not simply a matter of transferring descriptive insights about language to learners. However, accurate and comprehensive these descriptions may be, and whatever their source. And as we shall discuss later, there are also significant questions about whose English is being described in corpora and what authority the particular variety of English captured in a corpus should carry in the complex world of contemporary English language use. This book does not propose then to revolutionize language teaching through corpus linguistics. It does, however, seek to show how the long-proclaimed potential of corpora can significantly contribute to the evolution of language teaching. Ideally, it would take us to a point where we stop talking about the potential of corpora to be applied to ELT, which has been proclaimed for many years, to a point where the ability to carry out corpus research and or interpret the significance of corpus findings for the classroom is regarded as the norm for ELT practitioners. At the moment, this does not seem to be the case. A number of commentators, example Rumer, Biber, and Conrad Burton, report that only a minority of students, teachers, and materials writers directly engage with or in corpus research in practice, despite the growing number of both the general and specialized corpora available, as Romer emphasizes. Despite the obvious and recognized strengths of corpus use in a pedagogical context, examples that Corpora highlight what lexical items and collocations are typical in the language, and that they provide us with large amounts of natural language examples. It seems that there is still a strong resistance towards corpora from the side of students, teachers, and materials writers. To absorb. Anyway, let's continue. It is interesting that Romer refers above to the obvious and recognized strengths of corpus use in a pedagogical context, while at the is it pedagogical or pedagogical? Pedagogical, right? Oh my God. Ganyan yan pag na-interrupt ako. Pag yung, alam mo yun, minsan, we don't actually read aloud. So, we pretend that we actually know the word, especially how we pronounce it. So, and then suddenly, you're doubtful about the pronunciation of the word. So there's nothing wrong about that. Anyway, you can just check.
Pedagogical.
See, I was wrong. Pedagogical.
Pedagogical.
Pedagogical. I'm sorry. Pedagogical. So every time you are interrupted by something, like let's say it's either because of the pronunciation of the word, or that you don't know the meaning of the word exactly, or that you actually know but you're not sure about it. Then nothing wrong about checking it or making sure that you got the right pronunciation as well as the right meaning of the words, and then go to the pragmatics level, how you apply it in a certain situation, something like that. So that's this is the way of learning actually a certain language, especially English as a second language, because English is not really our, it's not our lingua franca per se. It is not even our, what do you call this? It could be our official language, but it's not our mother tongue. So, unlike the mother tongue, you actually just acquire it. How do I say that? Acquire? It's just the acquisition of the language is natural, whereas the second language is not. So you encounter so many things along the way when you're learning. So there's really nothing wrong about making sure, or there's nothing wrong about making mistakes, and then just make sure afterwards that you become right, or that you correct yourself, by the way. And so that's how I learned the language, by the way. So just right now, I'm very honest, I actually thought that actually in my mind it was like pedagogy, right? And then when it becomes to adjective, is it pedagogical? Or it sounds right, but anyway, the right one is actually pedagogical. All right, so the first G is hard, the second G is a little softer, just like the way you pronounce the G, because G can sometimes be pronounced G and Z, or Z, right? So I thought that actually it will be G all the while. Well, anyway, the Q actually is that it is, I remember, I've been teaching phonetics, by the way. When the G is followed by O, the vowels A or O, or in the same variants, then it is hard, G. But when the letter G is followed by E, I, or any variants of that sound of vowels, it is pronounced as Z, similar to the letter J, something like that. So I think that's the clue there. Pedagogical. So it's pedagogical. Okay, I'm sorry. I pronounced it pedagogical a while ago and it sounds right? But anyway, it's pedagogical. All right, let's move on. Are you learning? Here's my open file. All right, there you are. So it is interesting that Romer refers above to the obvious and recognized strengths of corpus use in pedagogical context, while at the same time speaking of resistance towards corpora from those most closely involved in the pedagogic context. Why should people resist what is potentially in their interest? Before we can answer that question, we will need to critically analyze the contribution corpora can make to language teaching. So anyway, when it comes to studying, of course, the ambience first is very important. So the temperature must be between room temperature and cold temperature, I guess, in my case, because if it's too cold, I often feel going to the bathroom and it interrupts. So once it's interrupted, so the flow, the momentum is there, but when it's interrupted, you know what happens. So the flow of your thought, probably the things that you already absorbed, maybe also be interrupted, so your brains may not function very well. And it's very important, by the way, that you also have to nourish yourself before studying, because nothing will process if you are not nourished, by the way. And another thing is that eliminate all the things that might disturb your studying. So another is, of course, eliminate the noise. How do you eliminate the noise? Then go to a place where you can actually have silence. And tell you, if you are studying in a silent environment, a lot will really process in your brains. And although it's good to be getting used to a very noisy environment, because especially these days, you can't avoid noise, by the way. There are many kinds of noise around, and you really can't avoid. But anyway, if you can choose an environment where there's silence, a total silence, then it's good. And then another thing is that, we live in the era where we can't avoid, being online or having the internet. So with this advent, we keep ourselves actually online, especially in our social media. So better yet, turn it off, especially if it makes sounds or notification or push emails, push messages, push text messages, or whatever pushes that. Then turn it off so you won't be interrupted. Okay? All right. And another thing is that if you are in your own room, then better yet, locked, or put a sign, silence please, I am studying, something like that. So people would know, or say you are in your home, they would know that actually you are engaged, you are studying, something like that. Anyway, just an interruption. Where was I? What do corpora have to offer ELT? Okay, ELT, by the way, is English language teaching. Let us turn now in more detail to these proclaimed potential corpora. Leach spoke optimistically about the potential of corpora to contribute to language teaching in 3 ways. All right, so here we go. What are those? Okay. 1. The indirect use of corpora in teaching, i.e., in other words, or how do I say, it's a Latin word by the way. Corpora can be used to inform ELT reference works such as dictionaries and grammars, to inform the content of ELT materials and syllabuses, and to inform test design. Okay, the use of corpora to inform reference works is now a given. The co-build series of dictionaries and reference books based on data from the Bank of English Corpus were the forerunner in this field, and now, as McCartan and McCarty point out, an ELT reference books which did not claim to be corpus informed would be conspicuous. Okay. However, the relationship between corpus research and ELT materials and syllabus design is nowhere near as strong as the relationship between corpus research and ELT reference books. Nevertheless, we should note that McCartan and McCarthy do point to the influence of corpora on a small number of course books. Face-to-face. Are you familiar with face-to-face textbooks? I think I have e-copies of them. Redston and Cunningham, which is informed by Cambridge International Corpus and Cambridge Learner Corpus. Oh, that book is informed by Cambridge International Corpus and Cambridge Learner Corpus. Take note. Objective First Certificate, Capel and Sharp, which is informed by the Cambridge Learner Corpus. I don't think I have that book. 50,000 written examination papers, substantially error-coded. Touchstone. Oh, I know this book also. McCarthy, McCartan, and Sandiford, where extensive use was made of a corpus to inform not only the grammatical and lexical syllabuses, primarily through frequency lists and concordances, but also the topics and methodology. McCartan and McCarthy. Oh, Touchstone and Face-to-Face. Are you familiar with those books, guys? English teachers over there. I was interrupted by the word conspicuous. You know, in my doctoral degree, I know the word conspicuous, but sometimes when I encounter it used in a different context, probably, or something that is not familiar, it makes me forget the meaning of it, all right, or the meanings of it. All right, so let's check the word conspicuous. Where was it used again? Let me get back. Where was the word? And it's highlighted by the way here. An ELT reference book which did not claim to be corpus informed would be conspicuous. Does it mean doubtful? Let's check. Visible, clearly visible. Attracting notice or attention, conspicuous. Why is it used here, by the way? An ELT reference books which did not claim to be corpus informed would be conspicuous. Okay. Yes. Something that would draw your attention. So kind of synonymous to doubtful, because when something is doubtful, when you're doubtful about something, it actually grabs your attention. Right. Attracting notice or attention. Attracting notice, the exact meaning of conspicuous is, the common one is, can we actually check it in Corpora? Which one is the, yeah, actually you can check. Attracting notice and attention. Let's check it out later. In Corpora, let's check it from COCA or BNC, British National Corpus. anyway later, because I have problem with my BNC account, by the way. I actually tried to log in from my first account using University of the Philippines, and then I seem to have a problem. Or is it is there a firewall that detects BNC as something that is suspicious? It sounds, for me, the word conspicuous actually sounded like similar to the word suspicious. Although there's a little bit similarity. Connection, because when something is conspicuous, it attracts your attention. All right, it attracts notice, and so it's kind of suspicious, right? But it's not really exactly that of the same meaning to the word suspicious. All right. Okay, let's move. This is actually only 13-page material, which was given to my student who is actually studying in Birmingham University, and this is just one of the materials during the week 1. Actually, I'm already inundated, and I need to finish, by the way. All right, so there's corpus question here. If possible, access one or more of the 3 course books mentioned above. Examine the syllabus, contents, pages, and then one unit in detail. Can you see evidence of the influence of corpora? If so, where and how? Okay, while the influence of corpora may be evident in the course books mentioned above, the title of Burton's article, Corpora and Course Books, Destined to Be Strangers Forever, suggests a rather distant and uncomfortable relationship between corpus research and materials. Indeed, the fact that McCartan and McCarthy were able to name the books influenced by corpora suggests that this is the exception rather than the rule. An important aim of this book, then, is to foster a more productive relationship between corpora and ELT by reviewing the findings of ELT-related corpus research, suggesting avenues for further research, and considering how judicious use of corpus research could contribute positively to ELT practice. Actually, just a note. When you are studying, actually, it helps to be reading aloud at times. But although not all the time, but if you have time to actually read aloud, actually it's good, because you, at the same time, you are checking yourself. You are able to be aware whether you are actually able to pronounce or syncopate, words, or apply intonation patterns, or are you saying them correctly, things like that, in the spoken language. Did you see my point? Okay. The direct cue second. What were we talking about, by the way? We are talking about what do corpora have to offer to ELT. So again, the first one was the indirect use of corpora in teaching. Okay, i.e. corpora can be used to inform ELT reference works such as dictionaries and grammars, to inform the content of ELT materials and syllabuses, and to inform test design. So indirectly, all right, indirect use of corpora to inform blah blah blah. All right, the second one is This time is the direct use of corpora in teaching, i.e. using corpus data in the classroom and enabling learners to access corpora for autonomous study. So, directly using it actually, so telling the students to actually access any corpora for that matter. Okay, the direct use of corpora or corpus data in the classroom is usually known as data-driven learning, and most commonly associated with the pioneering work of Tim Jones in this area. In DDL, learners may, for example, be given a concordance printout containing numerous instances of a particular word or phrase presented with brief co-text. They are then asked to make observations on its meaning, use, and grammatical properties based on the evidence before them. Below is a very, very simple example. We will consider more sophisticated examples in Chapter 6. In Chapter 6 in that book, I don't know if we are going to encounter this later. If, like me, you have spent many years correcting students who say responsible of, you might ask them to carry out a corpus search, perhaps using the free-to-access BNC interface at http://corpus.byu.edu/bnc/ okay, that link. In this case, the sheer weight of visual evidence can make an impact. So it is it's like telling students that this is a good authority, and that it's like to show proof. You probably believe in to see is what to believe. To see is to believe. All right. So having the data-driven learning can assure the students that they're actually picking up things the right way, and making them confident about what they're learning. Because sometimes you actually have, whether you like it or not, there are those students who actually are doubtful about what you are imparting them or what you are injecting to them. It's very normal. So because at times, even though you are considered to be a good authority, but at times you are just human being, so you can be wrong, you can be right. So to make yourself proven right, a good authority, a right authority, then I guess having the data-driven learning is a good way to make the students really confident about what you are imparting to them. Am I making point? All right, I guess I am. DDL, as we shall see in Chapter 6, places great emphasis on learners discovering language to the extent that it may challenge the beliefs of both learners and teachers. We will consider various ways in which this kind of learning might be applied in the classroom. Interesting. Then the third one. We are still into answering the question, what Corpora can offer to ELT. All right. Further teaching-oriented corpus development, i.e. developing corpora of learner English, corpora of L1 language development, and corpora of English for specific purpose. Yes, that's what corpora can actually offer. Given that, as we shall see in later chapters, corpora of learner English, L1 language development, and ESP, so English for specific purpose, if you don't know it yet, already exist. Building your own corpus may seem unnecessary, and as O'Keefe and Faw remarked, it can also seem to be a daunting task. Actually, yes, it's true. However, as we shall see in Chapter 2, it does not have to be daunting. A small but useful written corpus can be built in a matter of hours. So we're going to learn how to do that. The question, however, is why we would want to do this. In our case, it is probably to be able to meet the precise needs of our learners by, for example, providing a corpus which addresses their specialism and or which is suitable for their level of English. I guess this is what my school actually needs, because we are, we are heading this way, many ways. So we actually don't know what we are doing or what we need for our automotive learners or trainees. So I guess this is what we need. Let us take a look at an example from my experience. In our institution, we ran a course for Spanish teachers of music to help them to prepare to deliver CLIL, Content and Language Integrated Learning music lessons, i.e., they were to begin teaching music to their Spanish pupils through the medium of English. How could they best be prepared for this new challenge? One way we decided was to compile a small corpus of music teaching English. Ideally, this would have involved recording and transcribing music lessons in English schools, but this was too time-consuming and expensive for us at that time. We opted for what Tribble calls a quick and dirty corpus. Yeah, we can actually start with that. Also referred to as ad hoc corpora, i.e. small, informally produced corpora designed for specific teaching learning purpose. Compiling the music corpus involved downloading from a website that comments a website that comments involved downloading from a website the comments of music examiners on the performance of English music students in the GCSE music exam. Okay, so all right. So having an ad hoc corpora. Now I'm interrupted with the word ad hoc, although I already know what it means, but we have to actually check it out. I'm giving you this. So expedient, the nearest synonymous word is expedient. Or when you say ad hoc, when something is ad hoc, all right, it is created or done for a particular purpose as necessary. Created or done for a particular purpose as necessary. That's what ad hoc means, and it's adjective, by the way, and it also can be used as an adverb. It can be used as an adverb and it can be used as an adjective. So ad hoc corpora, for example. So a corpora that is done or created for a particular purpose. So in that case, going back to the text, in that case, it's used for that pioneering class for music, Spanish, for Spanish learners using English, the medium of English. So that corpora, ad hoc corpora, it is created and done for a particular for that purpose as necessary. All right, let's go back to our text, as it's really getting longer. I'm sorry. Okay, so the next page is all about, what is this one? This is just an example of concordance, is it? Oh my god, I need it to be. I don't know why it is. Concordance, yes, right. Okay. You probably don't know what is concordance. If you're not familiar with corpus, then you don't know what concordance is. Okay, so later after I finished reading, okay, I'll tell you what it means and what is concordance, and probably show you an example of it. Okay, it was quick. In about 4 to 5 minutes, we had the raw material for a 10,000 word corpus of English used to assess musical performance. It was dirty in the sense that it was clearly imperfect. We had no knowledge of what had written the reports or what their brief was, and it was not English used to teach music in the classroom. It was, we think, effective for our immediate purposes. We used it on the course and it was well received. 10,000 words for that matter. I wonder how... Oh, 45 minutes! They did it for 45 minutes? Almost not even an hour. And they're able to make corpora. For music class for Spanish learners, 10,000 words. Wow. Finally, in this chapter, a cautionary tale. It was said of an English professional footballer that he has a great future behind him. His long proclaimed youthful promise never came to fruition. We need to make sure that the same is not said of the relationship between corpus linguistics and ELT. There is a time to move beyond talking only about potential. Throughout the book, you will find 3 kinds of activity. Corpus search, corpus question. Corpus search, usually a visit to a corpus site and a guided search. Corpus question, this usually involves analysis and discussion of data. And discussion, this usually involves discussion of classroom implications. And there's a notes. A sizable computer-readable corpus of English as it is spoken by this non-native speaking majority of users in different contexts. These speakers use English successfully on a daily basis all over the world in their personal, professional, and academic lives. We therefore see them primarily not as language learners but as language users in their own right. So that's it. It's just one material about corpus linguistic. All right, so going back to the one I promised about concordance. All right, let's get back to the slide where concordance is defined. Oh, it's in another material. Is it in the worksheet? No, not in this worksheet. Concordance. Okay. So concordance lines, KWIC, if you're going to have the BNC, the British National Corpus, it's KWIC. I don't know why it's actually KWIC. It's kind of far from the word concordance. Well, let's see. Let's find out later if we can find it out, or along this course, by the way, or module. So concordant lines means a set of lines with a search term shown in the middle and a certain number of characters on either side. So how it looks. So I'll show you. So you will see exactly what's concordance. I will show you guys. All right. This is concordance. Can you see that? It is difficult too. It is hard too. All right. That's concordant lines highlighted in red. So that's it. So that's it, guys. So that's it, guys. And I hope you are able to pick up some important, how do I say, tips in studying. Actually, at the same time, you learn about corpus in this video. So Guys, please don't forget, if you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, don't forget to hit the what do you call this? Okay, the bell button, all right, so that every time I have an update in my channel, you're able to be notified. You are notified rather. And don't forget to hit the like button and share this video. We got this.